I guess we just go with this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems good.
Solid levels.
Apologies in advance, folks, for my little sniffles.
Oh, is he sick?
Do you got Let me know if you got probs with this. You check it out.
That looks good to me. That looks okay.
Diggity dog.
Diggity dog.
Shout out WWF No Mercy N64 soundtrack. The menu is Diggity Dog.
Why was it WWF and now it's WWE? Well, are they working their way backwards?
What did the F stand for?
Federation, right?
Federation. Okay,
and
yeah.
E is
entertainment.
Okay. So it's no longer a federation.
No.
All right.
This is not a country anymore.
No, now it's just purely entertainment.
I guess Federation, was it Federation? Was that it?
I have no idea.
What?
This is not a wrestling podcast. I want to make that very clear.
No, but I did, as a child, really enjoy this video game.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of my first. This is the first game. One of the first games I ever played. My brothers had an N64.
Yeah.
We also played Smash.
Sure. I was gonna say I was more of a Mario. Super Mario Sunshine is one of my first big video game experiences.
Yeah, on GameCube.
GameCube. Boop.
Ding. Yeah.
Bong.
That was a good GameCube, dude.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I've been working on it. I've been looking in front of the mirror every day this week. I'm gonna fucking nail that GameCube. Boop. Yeah.
Yep. Welcome to Cleveland Rocks.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Cleveland Rocks. It's the world's only Drew Carey Show podcast. I posted that this week, and I was like, that's probably right.
Even if there is another one, we certainly don't recognize
We don't
them.
acknowledge it. That's correct. It's us and nobody else.
It's us and nobody else.
Mm-hmm.
You get in our lane.
We're the only show in town.
Yes.
Yeah. TJ, how the hell are you?
Oh, buddy, I'm doing great.
Good. It's cold.
Saturday. It's a cold Saturday
so
in January here in New York.
I don't know why it gets this cold. It shouldn't get this cold ever.
It has been like just the kind of cold where everything hurts.
Yeah.
Your joints.
I got new gloves a couple of weeks ago, and it came in just in time.
I really am not a gloves person, but these are the kind where it's not safe to be. Like, I was carrying something home, like groceries home, and I didn't bring gloves, and I had to keep stopping.
Rookie mistake.
And I would have to put my hand in my jacket for 2 minutes.
Or you just get the bags where you can kind of put them on your shoulder.
And the crazy shit is most of the country right now is experiencing this. I mean,
Houston
we're recording this
snow.
the week that New Orleans had snow.
Yeah.
And Texas. I mean, New Orleans had the most snow it's ever had.
Yeah.
The Florida Panhandle, the beaches had fucking snow.
I will say, I think probably, though, when there are college students down there, there's a lot of snow. Cocaine joke.
Yes.
We still got them.
I've watched Florida Bama show. No way those kids have a little snow in their lives.
Yeah, whatever. God bless them. It's a party town.
Florida Bama Shore, yeah. That's
Florida Bama Shore, yeah.
They do Florida Bama and then they do Florida Georgia, right? Or is that just a band?
Florida Georgia Line is just a band, I think. Yeah. But Florida Bama
Hey, if y'all are getting into hijinks, though, down there, let us know.
Yeah, write us in. Cleveland Rocks Podcast at gmail.com. It's ostensibly just we can put whatever in there.
Yeah.
It's the start of a new era for us as we cross to season 3.
Season 3
of the Drew Carey Show.
I have some expectations, I guess, coming into season 3.
Do we want to talk about what we thought it was going to be? Because we felt really high leaving season 2, I think.
And I felt like, and I still kind of feel this way after, like, at least some of the cold open nonsense and everything. Like, I feel like we're just going to get weirder.
Yeah, it's going to get goofy.
It doesn't have to, like, be so regimented or fit in a little, box of what is real and what's reality.
Yeah.
Now they can just go and do whatever absolute cartoonish shit.
Stretch these characters
get into.
a little bit.
Yeah.
Break what we think of them a little bit.
So that's kind of where I felt like we're headed. And it seems to be the case. I don't want to speak too soon.
I'd say third time's the charm.
What was your expectation coming in?
I agreed with you. I think based on how big they went in that season 2 finale, like I kind of expected them to kind of raise the stakes a little more. I thought we would see maybe not more song and dance, but maybe, like big ensemble things like that, I thought.
Yeah, I'm sure that's coming.
Yeah, and we see it, I mean, not right away, but in that second cold, like you're talking about, the dream sequence sort of thing.
That was nuts.
Yeah.
We'll get to that, but
Yeah.
I mean, the aliens, yeah, we're getting goofy.
Yeah.
But even the first one
Yeah.
with the billboard, it's very funny.
Yes. It's season 3, episode 1. It's Drew versus Billboard. I don't know why. I thought it was maybe this is me being
You thought Billboard Top 100?
I thought Billboard magazine. I thought Cleveland, like rock and roll. I thought it was going to go somewhere with
music.
that. I
Well,
didn't
Drew
think it was
is a music
actually-
guy.
Yeah, well, and Cleveland's a music town. So
Yeah.
I was like, oh, maybe, I don't know. It would have been a weird thing for the first episode of your new season, but no, it is not Billboard magazine. It's a literal billboard. We start with The Office. We start with Mr. Wick handing out a trip to Hawaii. It's like a conference or retreat.
Yeah, I guess they're doing. Now that's got to be awesome.
Yeah, going to Hawaii.
You get. Well, it was some sort of management seminar though, and basically they send your top employees, whoever has the most promise. They send them there, and
that's
after
in
that,
theory.
Drew was saying normally whoever gets the conference to Hawaii, they're probably promoted.
Yeah.
So,
In theory, it's supposed to be the best of the best, but Drew, maybe this is just him being, jealous or whatever, seems to think that it just goes to the hottest, attractive person that they can send to Hawaii.
yeah, which.
Maybe. Yeah.
Although, what incentive does the company have to just send hot, attractive people? Like, if you send the most fuckable person to Hawaii for this management contest,
Will they think well of you
of
as
your
a branch?
company?
Yeah.
I guess you don't. He does make a few remarks
Yeah.
about how he does only want hot, attractive people to represent
The company.
Yeah. Because I will say, to this point in the show, even. I know we only talk about how fat Drew is. That he is this put upon fat man.
Yes.
That's what I know, not that we talk about it, but
Right.
that's what the show
Implies
really wants us to
nails
think
about
of
him.
Drew. I always thought, he's kind of like maybe, again, I think we said before, 90s fat, maybe.
Yeah.
But today fat, I don't think he's that fat.
No.
And this first episode, though, was
Changes
the first
your
time I
opinion
was
of it?
like, oh, I think he put on a little weight into this season.
There definitely, I think that's right. I will also say, as a member of the stealth fat guys group, I would like to say, you can hide things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not that Drew's really hiding it, but he's got some big flannels. You know what I mean? I think he's signaling to people.
He does. He loves that look with the T-shirt, and then you wear like an open short sleeve button down
Yes.
over top.
Oh, I know that looks
Yeah,
so
that
fucking
really
well, dude.
masks
It rules. Yeah. You get a graphic tee in there. People are like, oh, what's on? They're not even noticing everything else. They're
Yeah.
just noticing, your Cleveland Rock and Roll Hall of Fame T-shirt.
Damn, in the 90s, that was a look.
Yeah, it
Throw on
was.
some cargo shorts, and then
This is why I think Drew looks also ostensibly fatter in the suit, like the one that we see him in the office.
But that first scene, they have him. I know they were like really
Trying to
leading
ham it
into
up,
it because
yeah.
they had him eating a Snickers bar,
Yeah.
and then they had him running back and forth. I don't know if they put him in a tighter shirt, but I was like, God, he does not
Look
like going into season 2. We were like,
Drew
fuck,
got hot.
Drew's hot.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, oh,
Drew's not.
Drew went whatever season Mac got fat and Always Sunny.
It's that reverse.
Drew did that in season 3.
Right. Well, I guess, so a hot Smith, I think his name is, we
Smith.
say.
Wick's walking down talking to Smith about his trip to Hawaii.
Right.
He's a good-looking guy.
Yeah, and he's like, y'all send him off. It'll be great, whatever. And Drew's kind of just bitching to Kate about, like, they send the hot people and it's not fair and he's going to get promoted and when's it my turn? And, look, whatever. Drew's been there for years, right? We've established it's been like since he was out of college, or not out of college, like right out of high school or some shit. And he just hasn't.
Yeah.
How long is he going to complain about working there, though, before he, gets something else?
Honestly, it just feels like I want to be like it's annoying, but I also feel like now I've worked in enough offices.
Yeah, that
I'm like, these guys exist everywhere.
Absolutely.
They never move up in said company, and they will bitch and moan.
Mm-hmm.
but they never.
You
they
just hang
also
around.
never do anything to live because you know what? Work is work.
I know guys like that. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Work is work, and they don't necessarily feel like they want to stick their neck out that much, but they'll complain about it.
As long as he can afford beer, I feel like he's willing to just continue moving forward. Yeah. Perpetual motion.
Yeah. So I think this is just the rest of his life. Unless maybe do you think it's at least the rest of the series, right? Do we think there's a point?
I mean, the rest of the series is the rest of his life as far as the character is concerned.
Sure. I guess what I'm getting at is at the end of 9. Is it 9 seasons?
9.
Nine seasons. Do you think he leaves this company?
This ends in 2005.
Because that feels like you want
to
talk about a way to end this show.
Yeah.
And this show is all about him in the middle management working guy.
Yeah.
I feel like that's how you do it.
He's definitely not going to climb up.
No,
there's a question of climbing out or something. Like I'm trying to think. This aired in 2005.
Maybe Buzz Beer took off.
Yeah, or 2005. Department stores are not they're still a thing, but when do they really start going south?
Oh, I don't think that's.
It's later. It's way beyond when this show ends. So that wouldn't be something they'd write in. Yeah, I don't know. Probably he's gonna stay here. I'd feel like. Yeah.
I'm just wondering if there's an arc where maybe Buzz Beer takes off and he can quit this job.
Maybe, but then they just got they got their whole idea stolen from another guy in the last episode.
Yeah.
So who knows?
Anyway, we're having fun. We're thinking about the future. Let's live in the present
with this episode. So Drew's complaining about that they send the hot people to Hawaii, and he's basically trying to show Mr. Wick that he can do feats of physical strength. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's really unimpressive stuff when you zoom out.
He got those copies pretty fucking quick.
He runs really quick to a copier because Mr. Wick asks him to. And, he does get it. It's probably 30 seconds.
You ever try to use a copier?
Yeah, it's
that's
not
a guy
easy.
who knows how to use a copier.
Right. But is it more about him being able to run, or is it more about him being able to understand a piece of technology?
I mean, he wants it to be about him running, but my takeaway was holy shit.
Yeah. I don't know how to photocopy
I don't know how
fast.
to copy anything.
It's always going to tray 2. Go to tray 1.
Yeah,
go to tray 1.
Oh, and you always put it on the wrong side, and it photocopies wrong. Yeah.
Or if it's got the 3 holes, and then those are in the thing, you're like, no, I didn't want that. Yeah. So he does that, but then he's also completely out of breath after he runs. He's trying to replace a water cooler jug, and Mimi comes over and distracts Mr. Wick, so Mr. Wick can't pick which water jug goes in, so he's just stuck holding. To be fair, when was the last time you held a water jug?
Those things are heavy.
Those things are fucking heavy. Those are not
There's
cool.
no way to do it gracefully, because also whenever you have to turn it over, it just the counter bet, all the weight's on top, and then it just flubs in. And there's no way to do it gracefully.
I used to have to do that at an internship, and I was just no, I don't really like.
Why did he pick
all
up
the stairs?
Why not just put it back on the fucking desk? Dude?
Yeah. Well, because he wanted to show that he could keep holding it. He's a show off, man.
Anyway, unimpressive stuff, and nobody. I don't even think Wick notices.
No, I don't think anybody notices, because after all, the water cooler doesn't even need to be changed. It's just broken or something.
Yeah, Kate actually went and got the doctor preemptively.
Yeah, and she couldn't find. She found the company nurse or the store nurse, and she was hammered. Yeah. So Drew decides if he can't lose even a couple of pounds, he probably doesn't even deserve a trip to Hawaii. And then I think this sort of sparks for this episode a health journey for Drew. He wants to lose weight. I guess the gang says they'll help him at some point. So that's our cold. And then we go into the actual meat of the episode, and we get them at the Warsaw, and they're just all drinking. And Drew goes, "Hey, I thought you guys were going to help me, lose weight." And Oswald's like, we figured it would just be easier for everybody else to get fat.
Yeah, and that's the only way we're going to be.
There's the only way we're going to make this work.
There's also this B plot, though, in this episode where I guess Lewis's head's getting bigger.
They're worried about the size of Lewis's head.
I guess they're worried that Drug Co. is testing thickening shampoo.
And, of course, he rubs it all over his head.
He put it on his head, and he's worried that it's making his head larger. And I guess they had traced his head on a piece of paper, and then they do a bad job on the next one, and it is bigger.
Yeah. He's like, I'm telling you, it's doing it. He's so paranoid about the size of his head.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, they're not going to have Drew lose weight. So Drew kind of thinks, well, I'm not going to join a gym. This should be my gym.
Yeah, he did say that he's like he can't join a gym.
Yeah.
He feels like he can't join a
gym. Well, gyms
gym.
are for attractive people. You go to a gym. I don't go to a gym. We've had this argument before.
But how do you rectify us? Just a gym exists for all. It's a
No. I don't think so. I think gym exists for well-oiled machines. I work out outside. If I'm going to work out, I go for a run. If I do,
but the treadmill. The treadmills, then you can do it in the cold.
Yeah, I don't deserve treadmill. I do my running outside in the cold on pavement. My feet hurt.
Treadmill
I pronate.
Sucks, actually.
Treadmill does kind of suck. But the one thing about treadmills, people's always told me like
incline.
The incline, exactly. It's like the 33, whatever you reach the incline to.
Yeah, it helps.
Yeah. Do you know?
I also like the Stairmaster.
Yeah.
I was using that honestly the other day. Mm-hmm. Oh, it kicks my ass.
Now, what is it? Also, like good? Like, how does it kick your ass?
It's just it burns your legs.
It's like the
butt.
upper muscles, right? Yeah, I was gonna say glutes and things.
But also it's just a great cardio workout. Like my heart was pumping.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you bump it up enough.
Sure.
But yeah, the Stairmaster, I think that might be my favorite if I had to do a cardio machine at the gym.
Yeah.
They also say the elliptical, you burn a lot of calories, but I think that's bullshit. I mean, I don't know if you've ever used an elliptical, but it's all like...
I mean, I don't know much about it's like, that's just like
That's the thing with the arms.
It's like skiing almost.
Yeah. But like, I don't know, it has so much forward momentum with your legs that I feel like I don't buy it.
Yeah. I think you just kind of, I'm with that. I don't know. I'll tell you this. I now live in a 4th floor walk up, and I definitely feel the burn with the stairs. You're absolutely right. It's not bad though. Unless I'm doing it multiple times for like laundry or something, then I want to die. But yeah. So anyway, Drew decides he can't go to the gym because gym isn't for people like Drew. He's gonna the bar is gonna be his gym basically.
Yes.
Then at that point he just goes up and he orders a light beer because that's I guess did he decide that walking from the table to the bar
that
was
would
ostensibly his workout?
That would be a workout, and then switching to light beer would also help. And then the stranger overhears and said, "Hey, buddy, it's not gonna work."
This thin-looking stranger is like, you can't. I've been in your situation, and what you're gonna do? Light beer ain't gonna cut it. And it turns out he's selling Drew on a product, VitaBeer.
VitaBeer.
It's vitamins that will burn fat and they activate once you drop it into your beer. That's it basically.
It's basic. I couldn't. It does some sort of. It affects chemically something in
the beer,
body,
but that when you digest it, it like burns fat quicker or something. It's very clearly like a load of bullshit.
Yeah, it feels like some pyramid scheme shit. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So they ask him how much it costs and all this, and he goes, "Well, it's $50 a bottle, but it's
I give it to you
expensive.
for $45."
Yeah, exactly. Which, to be fair, not a good deal.
No.
Not a bargain.
So Drew's uninterested.
Mm-hmm. The guy goes, "I need before and after photos to sell this to marketers. So if you'd be willing to pose for a before photo, I'll give you a free bottle."
Yeah.
And Drew says something about like, are you the guy at the pool that was taking photos of people?
Yeah.
It is a weird request. It's not something I would jump on, having
to be the before guy for a weight loss product.
Well, if you're just selling it to marketers, like I think Drew, when he agrees to it, is thinking of the after that could be.
Yeah.
And like how, it will start with this free bottle that he was so smart enough to just, work out a deal with the guy. Whatever. He says yes, and I guess before photos are taken that we don't see, and Drew gets his bottle of Vita beer. Not before, though, the B plot continues with them confusing Lewis with a hat.
Yeah, Lewis was wearing a hat.
He's wearing a Cleveland Indians hat with Chief Wahoo, is it?
Chief Wahoo.
Chief Wahoo. So hashtag throwback. that is something I don't even know if they would put it in the repeat today.
Man, that shit was can you believe they had
that
Chief
was the
Wahoo
mascot
on like their logo like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It was like not that long ago.
Yeah, not a problem at all. But so he's wearing one that's like adult sized, and Oswald quick swaps it out with a children's hat from another table and freaks Lewis the fuck out that he thinks his head is getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
By the second. So anyway, Drew.
I love I love just fucking with your friends.
Yeah. Yeah, you do, actually. You do love fucking with your friends.
Yeah. Like a little harebrained scream.
Yeah.
Make them just... We never get into hijinks like that anymore.
Keep them on their toes. No. Yeah. Well, that's like also such innocent fun. Like, I feel like these folks have gotten into way worse shit, as we'll see later, how they end, with some of the shit they do. But
they cut to the street the next day.
Mm-hmm.
A nice shot of a Cleveland sidewalk.
Yes.
Which was clearly the Warner Brothers lot.
Yes. Oh, it is not the next day. It's 2 weeks later.
Oh,
I want to be
right.
clear.
That's right.
We get like a little lower third that says 2 weeks later, and Drew is posing in definitely Cleveland at like a bus stop, I think, getting ready to go for work. Or he's something. He's on the sidewalk. And cars just keep honking at him. Just keep honking nonstop.
Yeah, he's a little hottie now.
Yeah, well, he feels like the Vita beer must be working, clearly. Like, he just feels like, look at me, I'm drawing so much attention. People are like, hey, look at that, I want a piece of that.
You look good.
Yeah. Kate comes over and is like, what's all the honking? And Drew's like, oh, just, I guess it's working. Look at me, it's good. And then she looks up, and there's a giant billboard with a shirtless, pot-bellied Drew Carey, and it says, honk if you want me to put on a shirt. And it's an advertisement for Vita beer.
Do you think that was his real body?
I
really
don't think so.
He was like, that was a hell of a belly.
Yeah, no, I think it had to be photoshopped.
That was
a
like
bit.
big old beer belly.
I wonder if that like information is knowable. I don't know. I feel like it has. Somebody knows.
But like, there's also a world to me where like, have you ever like really like pushed out your belly with like the abdominal muscles?
Yeah.
And like just like tried to see yourself have like that like further more round like
some of us don't need to really try that hard, but yes, no, I'm familiar.
Yeah, I feel like maybe he was doing that.
He was
for
pushing
a photo.
That really hard.
He
but
was
it's also
out.
it's not that hard to like Photoshop it a little bit. You can just liquefy and just stretch it out a little bit, make him look like a pregnant man.
Yeah,
I don't know.
He did look pregnant.
He did. He looked
like he had twins on the way. But yeah, just a bit. He had a nice goofy face on him. My whole problem with this photo too was I was like, how the fuck did Drew not think like this is a weird before picture?
Yeah, he's got me waving and posing like I'm a fucking Disney character. Like it doesn't make any sense. Yeah, so Drew realizes what's going on, and he's kind of mortified by the whole situation. I would be so fucking pissed, dude, if I confidentially gave a man shirtless photos of me,
and then
they were publicly
and
put
now
on a
it's
billboard.
like 30 feet tall.
That's the other
Cleveland.
thing. I thought it was look, billboards are huge, I know this, but like they cut Drew out so he's also like taller than the billboard. He's like, it's like Godzilla Drew.
Yes,
it's truly insane. No good for our good friend Drew Carey.
What's the best billboard you've ever seen? Have you ever seen a billboard and been like, yes, that's impactful? There is the one in the Philadelphia area.
I was gonna say I hate Steven Singer.
That one has worked
because it makes you be like, who the fuck is that guy?
And then you look it up and
he's just a jeweler.
Yeah,
and he is the guy that puts up those billboards. That's less cool to me. I'm trying to think of other cool billboards I've seen. No, I think Steven Singer's got to be the only one. Is there a Pittsburgh Steven Singer?
No.
There's
not. They do have one. There is one like giant like 50 to 100 feet long fucking billboard on Mount Washington, but it's just for beer.
Yeah.
It's just Iron City beer.
Sure.
No, there's no like Pittsburgh area. Maybe there is. I don't know. The impactful billboard like that. Philly though also did recently for like that playoff game. They'll like put like fun shit on the billboards. They had a quote from one of the Rams players.
Oh, to like motivate.
To motivate.
Yeah.
Well, no, just to like because the Rams player had a quote about talking shit on Philly fans.
Yeah.
And then so some Philly fan bought it and they put the quote on the billboard. I'm like, that stuff's fun.
There was a guy recently, I think, who took out a billboard space in Philly who was looking for like women to date him. But like that sounds like creepy and weird. And maybe it is on some level, but like he was like, you know, trying to advertise more as like a life partner sort of thing. Like, hi, here are my hobbies. And like, I think it went viral or something, if I'm not mistaken. Or maybe it was just flyers. I don't know.
There was some kid in the Pittsburgh area that took a billboard out and he used it as a campaign to get an NBA team to Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was like, what a dumb waste. If you're that kid's parents, you got to be ashamed. Like, how could you let your kid waste his fucking money on a billboard for that?
I don't think billboards cost that much, especially like digital ones now, like where it's like you just upload like a JPEG or whatever the fuck, and they just
maybe
it.
I mean it all depends where it is, you know.
Should we
we could get one in, I think, in farm country for $100.
They don't
have
billboards in farm country.
We could get it painted on a barn.
Yeah,
sorry,
on the side, just you see a cow being milked. And it's,
Cleveland Rocks.
Yeah.
Listen on Spotify.
I'll look into it. We could get a Cleveland Rocks billboard somewhere. Where should we put it in Cleveland?
We'd have to.
Yeah. I'll look into it. Maybe we do it.
Yeah, we'll get like even if we got to get a Cleveland suburb. We'll go someplace. We'll go to Ashtabula.
Sure. Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know any of the Cleveland suburbs. I'll rely fully on you for that. But yeah, no, we could do that. Yeah.
Yeah. So the next day we're back in the office. Well, I guess it's not the next day. It might be the same day. They don't really specify. Anyway, this is post Billboard revelation. It opens with a big applause for Mimi. I think maybe because is this the first time we're seeing her
in like a crazy outfit?
Well, like this season.
Oh,
no, maybe not. I don't know. If she was in a goofy outfit, it was like a what do they call that painting? It's a
I know it's
Mondrain with the color blocks.
I know what you're talking about, but I don't think it's Mondrain. I'm trying to think who Monet. Right?
No.
Monet's the watercolors.
I think it's Mondrain. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but it's like the vase I have there.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. But anyway,
for people at home, TJ's got a really nice square.
Yeah, it's like if you're unfamiliar with what I'm describing, which I realize I haven't described at all, it's just a bunch of squares that are different colors. It's the red, blue, and yellow squares. But yeah, anyway. Mimi comes in a...
You were right. It was Mondrain. P.A. Mondrain.
Anyway, she comes... That fit, honestly, was kind of cool.
Yeah.
She's
credit where credit's due.
But she comes in, she... honks at Drew. She's got a big
French horn. Yeah. She's like going
saw
crazy
the billboard, honk.
Yeah.
And then, anyway, Lewis and Oswald come in, and Kate, the whole gang, naturally come in, and Lewis's face.
Oh, yeah. So he's worried, I guess, about his head continuing to grow.
Yeah, it's been 2 weeks now he's been worried about this head thing.
What did he put on it that he had to...
It was ice packs.
He's got ice packs on to reduce the swelling of it.
Yeah, he thinks his head's swelling.
Yeah.
So, he
covers it in like a blue tarp so they all stay in place.
And then he got a mask to conceal his identity.
Because Drew goes, aren't you afraid you're going to look ridiculous? And he's like, that's where the mask comes in. Just looking like a fool.
And, I guess they just start talking to Drew about what they're going to do about this billboard.
Right. It happens that Drew is interviewing somebody at the office for a position, and he gets recognized as the guy on the billboard.
Yeah.
And Drew goes, yeah, sit down. And then Drew's like leaning over and looking at the file on the guy, and the guy is just so clearly enamored with Drew's stomach.
Yeah.
And to the point where he asks Drew to lift his shirt. I want to tell my wife I touched it. And Drew's like, get the fuck out of my office. You got to leave right now. Mr. Wick comes in, and Mimi has what I think is maybe my favorite line of this episode, which is, Mr. Wick, Drew's too fat to work. And it's Mr. Wick's aware of the billboard and like sympathizes, but he's like, it's a distraction. Like, it's not good for Winfred Louder.
It's not a good look to have, this be your outward facing representative.
And also, yeah, exactly. It reflects the company. He's like, we don't want people to think of someone who's not going to be around for more than 10 years at this company. But Drew's kind of in a pickle here because he signed a release with the Vitabeer guy that he didn't realize, I guess, gave him permission to put him on a billboard in the middle of Cleveland.
Fine print.
Yeah, this is where we've got to read. We know that, the drill. iTunes Terms of Service says that if they take a shirtless photo of you, they get to use it in an Apple ad. That's why there's all those fat guys in the AirPods ads just dancing around.
So yeah, Drew's got a scheme.
Yeah.
Drew's got a scheme with the gang how to get this down. Wick says basically wants him to get the billboard down, or he's demoted to night basement guy.
Night basement guy.
Night basement guy because he interfaces with the public too much.
Yeah.
He can't be that fat.
We've seen the basement at Winfred Louder. It's not fun. It's like where you go when you're bad.
It has like an organ.
Yeah,
it has an organ and a pneumatic tube. It seems fun.
I haven't seen Nosferatu, but I think it's set in the Winfred Louder basement.
Also, wait, but why does it have to be night and basement?
You would think
basement's
covers.
enough to cover.
Also, though, night in general, nobody's in the office.
Yeah. So, night and basement. He's not that fat. What?
If he was in like a wheelchair,
yeah,
maybe. No. So Drew realizes he has to kind of take matters into his own hands. He's going to have to be the one who takes down the billboard. So he recruits the gang, and that night, we don't see it, of course, but they climb up somehow to the billboard, and they like have box cutters, and they just start sort of slicing the billboard apart.
Yeah,
as you do. And who would you think shows up but the Vitabeer guy?
Yeah, who got a tip from an anonymous
source.
Oh, no, he didn't even say anonymous. He just said a source. And he was like, Drew's like, tell me who it is. And he said, Mimi Bobek.
Yeah. Drew's like, oh, what coward would anonymously tell you that? And he goes, no, Mimi Bobek. She says she works with you and she said hi. So, the Vitabeer guy is basically like, you can't be doing this. And they realize, like, time is running out. Like, cars are driving by and they don't want to be seen.
Yeah.
So, instead of, like, finishing the job, Drew just kind of, his inner bully comes out and they staple gun him to the billboard.
Yeah.
And pull down his pants.
They put him in, like, a Christ formation.
They crucify him. And they pull down his
Drew's
pants.
belly, and they pants him.
And Kate hits him in the goddamn stomach, and then they kind of leave. He does say, though, that Drew should... He says, and who knows if we can trust anything about this guy with health anymore, but he says that Drew has like a weird mole in the photograph right on his stomach that he should get checked out.
He did. It was a big mole on the photograph.
I would just like to say, though, any mole is going to look big when it's produced to billboard size.
Right.
So, so Drew cuts off the mole and then runs off.
To show to his doctor.
Yeah. So smash cut to the office once again. Drew has gotten the mole looked at, and he feels good. He also got his first full physical in a while.
And the doctor said he's healthy.
Perfectly healthy, despite looking like that on the billboard. He's fine. He's healthy.
We knew it all along, Drew.
Absolutely.
Turns out that Mr. Wick walks by, and Drew's like, hey, you know what? Next year, next trip to Hawaii, I am in.
He finds the confidence.
Yeah, he finally found the confidence to stick up for himself. And then Wick was like, how about now? Hands him a flight ticket.
This is the first weird turn that I think we have officially gotten this season. Drew gets invited to go to the conference retreat, to which, he's like, oh, I guess Mr. Pretty Boy couldn't take the stress. And Mr. Wick's like, no, exactly. Yeah, he had a heart attack. The guy is dead. There's nothing to be done. The conference is over, but Drew needs to get the dead Winfred Louder employee from Hawaii back to Cleveland.
Him back to Cleveland.
To be buried. So,
and it has connecting flights in Tampa and Minneapolis.
Yeah.
So Drew gets to go to 3 airports with a dead body.
Yeah, that's his reward for finding his confidence. I thought when he was saying, like, he seemed upset that he wasn't going to get as much time in Hawaii as he wanted.
Yeah.
And I thought Wick was saying, well, he gets to stop at Tampa as well. But then when he said Minneapolis, I was like, oh, God. Like, he's really just airport hopping. Like, it's just, ugh.
Yeah.
So Drew does it, though, and the credit scene is him showing all of his fun vacation photos with the dead body.
Yeah, he's like, look, there's me. There's the guy. He's the guy in the box.
Yes, Smith is the guy in the box. And then, they're kind of pondering what happened to the Vitabeer guy, and Drew's like, I think he went out of business or whatever. And then Drew gets
a check
from
in the mail,
a gay cruise line.
Yeah,
I didn't get the
New Lifestyles gay cruises.
Yeah, and Drew's like, I don't know what that is. Who cares? And then we cut back to the billboard, and he's being used as the photo guy for New Lifestyles cruise line.
They just changed the Vitabeer.
Yeah, with the slogan, "You won't see bodies like this on our cruise." That's the slogan that the gay cruise line chose. Ugh, I don't know. Poor Drew.
Wouldn't Drew be a bear?
Yeah, that's actually okay. I was gonna say, I feel like that you will probably see a good amount of those bodies.
There's a few of those bodies out there.
Maybe you can't make that joke in 1997 or whatever this is. Maybe are gay guys in the 90s all like hot and muscular?
They're only thinking of them one way.
Yeah, we weren't culturally, we weren't asking, we weren't telling. Nobody knew.
Nobody
knew that like Drew's kind of a bear.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know his height. No, he's probably not short. He's not short enough to be a cub.
I don't know what height differentiates cub to bear.
I've been told a couple of times. Yeah, I've been told as a shorter guy I wouldn't be a bear, I'd be a cub. And then I don't know what the fucking otter is, but if somebody could tell me, don't email. Actually, don't email. I don't want to know.
Yeah.
I don't want to know.
Oh man, someone's gonna tell us. We are gonna be told.
Hey everybody, this episode of Cleveland Rocks is brought to you by Manscaped. Manscaped, the best for your balls. TJ, it's playoff season.
Oh, buddy, is it?
Yeah. How are your Steelers doing?
Not so good.
It's all right. It's all right. Look.
Hey, listen, at least there's one representative from Pennsylvania.
That's true. My Eagles are still in it. As of the time we're recording this, God, I hope they're still in when it comes out. We'll see. But look, we're worried about East and West. Manscaped has your North and South covered with their beard and balls bundle. That's right. All for one price. You get both the beard hedger and the lawnmower 5.0.
Guys, we're talking about 20 different hair length settings on that beard hedger, so you can get yourself any length of playoff beard you're looking for here.
First round exit or a Super Bowl run, whatever you're looking for. Gentle on the skin, whether we're talking about your groin or your face, you're going to feel comfort regardless.
They are waterproof.
This says ice bath. I don't know.
I know a lot of you NFL freaks are going in the ice baths these days. Very popular. That's great. Awesome. You could take this, I guess, in the ice bath.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Try it out. Let us know.
Yeah. Right to us. And look, this is not saying it will work, but it does say it in their copy. It's also got your favorite, the LED spotlight on the lawnmowers. That way you know where you're trimming.
I find that I like to do it in the dark. Mm-hmm. I just like to...
I don't want anyone else to even see.
I don't want anyone else to know, hey, what are you doing in there?
Yeah. It's also got high-performance rechargeable batteries. The lawnmower can go for 75 minutes. You know how you trim your balls for 75 minutes?
It's like a fucking Picasso down there.
You got to make sure everything's correct.
Everything's exactly the shape it's
supposed to be. I'm making a masterpiece down there. And of course, if you're unhappy, they got a 30-day money-back guarantee, so it's really a risk-free offer here.
Give it a try. It has all the bells and whistles you can possibly need. The travel lock, huge.
Yeah.
Hate when you're traveling across the country with your beard or your
ball trimmer,
whichever one. Mm-hmm. I would normally travel with a beard trimmer, but if you have that gnarly ball hair that gets... Either or, they got a travel lock.
They got you all set. Don't worry, it ain't going to go off in the TSA line.
No, it's not going to be buzzing when it comes down to baggage carousel.
So join the over 11 million men who trust Manscaped with their grooming. Go to manscaped.com and get the beard and balls bundle. And you can get 20% off your order and free shipping when you use promo code Cleveland. TJ, how do you spell that?
Cleveland.
That's right. So ladies and gentlemen, go to manscaped.com today. Use promo code Cleveland. That's Cleveland.
Who did not make the playoffs.
Yes. They did not. Take that.
Take that, Cleveland.
And as always, thanks, man. That is episode 1 of season 3. Yeah. I thought, it doesn't really go as fully off the rails as it could.
No.
But it's like a funny gag. And like you said, it's so very clearly Studio City.
Good visual gag.
Yeah, in that billboard
with the
shot.
Billboard.
Yeah. So.
And then episode 2, though, really, the cold open at least, I'm like.
Fucking nuts.
Where the. Well, so. I guess this is going to, and I feel like we've had a few of these maybe, but where just the cold open does not have any relation to the episode. We've had a few of these. It's
truly a cold open,
It's
We start with in the office, Drew's just sitting there typing at his desk, and or not even typing at his desk, he's at the water cooler, pours, water out of the water cooler, turns around to drink it, and the water cooler morphs into a woman. and the woman just greets him, and he goes, "Oh, hey," and like he doesn't acknowledge that happened, and just walks back to his desk. Weird morphing shit is going to continue.
Yeah, well, he doesn't. The implication is he doesn't really see it,
right? Or if he does, he like doesn't like fully take it in.
Yeah.
There's a guy walking on the ceiling that says hi to Drew. Yeah. We get Larry coming over to get Drew to like sign off
things,
on things,
and then Larry has 6 arms.
Pieces of paper keep coming out.
It's a fun visual gag for like something that was shot in a studio.
Yeah, it's actually pretty impressive, I would say, for like a sitcom like this. Yeah, like to have all of this like, you know, CGI stuff.
Yes.
And then what really does it though is Mr. Wick comes out, and Drew's like, "Does anything seem like abnormal to you?" And he goes, "No, Carey, I'm just here to tell you how valued you are as an employee."
Yeah, Wick is being nice and respectful, and Drew offers to give him a raise.
Not only that, Drew asks for a raise, and Mr. Wick says, "Yes, I'll give you more than you want." And that's when he realizes he's in a situation. I thought we were going to just reveal it was a dream.
Yeah.
But no, it's an alien invasion. So Drew suddenly pulls out like this like laser gun out of thin air.
Laser gun, and then Wick morphs into a literal alien.
Yeah,
gray,
we see
like,
Craig Ferguson's head kind of morph into
shift
like
into like an
creature.
alien creature with like a Martian with like big eyes and like exactly what you'd think
of an alien.
Yeah.
Drew then kind of like pulverizes him, I would say. He shoots him, and instead of just like exploding or something, they turn into black, and then they just turn into
ash.
dust. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's crazy. So that he does that like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, he turns around, he shoots Larry and all the other ones.
Yeah. He's running down the stairs into the department store. There's a panic because I guess people realized aliens are invading. And
some old lady comes by, and she asks for what was the liquid fountain she wanted? It was
I don't remember.
It was not a water fountain. It was like a arsenic or iodine.
And then she's
chemical.
like, "I promise you, I'm just a person. I'm not an alien." And then Drew shoots her, and she's an alien. And yeah, it's crazy. So then Drew finds his way into, like, I guess I would say the Kingpin alien or whatever, like the guy in charge.
Yeah,
and he like kind of has a showdown with him, and he's like,
I guess,
what's your intention?
Yeah, and he says he wants to enslave everyone and make them work long hours for little pay in a cubicle.
Mm-hmm. To which Drew goes, "How long for lunch?" The alien goes like 45 minutes, and Drew goes, "Nobody steals my hour."
Yeah.
So then we get into a shootout. Drew like kicks over a desk.
The gang comes in the elevator.
Yeah, Drew's gun stalls, and then luckily Lewis and Oswald pop out. Then their guns also stall. It was a cool sequence.
But their guns don't work, but then Kate jumps in, and her gun works.
But Mimi suddenly comes out. We see that the Kingpin alien is holding Mimi hostage.
Yeah.
And, Drew says something along the lines of, like, release her or release them.
The alien was like, or the beautiful girl gets it.
Yeah.
And Drew's like, step away.
Yeah.
And then that's whenever the aliens, either way, he means...
he tells the aliens
step away
he's going to
shoot me.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we learn then that Mimi is suddenly like the alien Kingpin. She morphs into an alien, and Drew shoots her. But instead of turning to dust, there's just like a dozen or hundreds of little.
He turns into a bunch. It's like when you step on like a mama spider with a bunch of eggs on its back, and then it explodes into all the other spiders.
It's just a bunch of little Mimis running around, and Drew looks like panicked. And then suddenly, we wake up, and the whole thing...
That was my favorite part, actually.
The memes?
Wait, no, yeah. And then he turns around, and the whole gang... You're missing the best, but the gang all turns into aliens. And then they say, I think, they say that the Lewis alien impregnated Drew with his seed. And then that's whenever Drew starts screaming, and he wakes up.
Yes. So... Drew wakes up, but it's not Drew. It's an alien Drew.
Yeah, it's an alien Drew.
And there's
an
alien
office.
Mimi, and they have a back and forth, and she's like, "What's wrong?" And Drew's like, "I had a dream I was pale and unattractive or something."
Yeah.
And she tells him to bite him, and then the alien Drew actually bites alien Mimi.
Yeah, and the whole office is filled. Everybody's
an alien. It's just alien. It's such a dumb little goofy cold gag. I love this whole thing. Just crazy. And then to top it off,
they cut to the credits, and it's a Moons Over Zeeborg.
And they start doing like Moons Over Parma, but
Moons Over Zeeborging, and it's like an alien face.
And then
it.
a quick like record scratch, and we go back to the normal 5 o'clock world. I thought, really well done on this.
They committed
the shit out of it.
110%.
Absolutely. And it's
I
not
love
like,
the little Mimis exploding and all the tiny little ones running around.
That must have been so much green screen work, just her running around in different positions. And what's crazy to me is like it's not like this is like an uneventful episode. Like there's like actual shit that's about to happen, but they devoted like a solid 3 to 4 minutes.
That was a giant chunk of the episode.
It's just this cold.
I'm not going to lie to you. I took a little preview of it earlier when I was setting the episodes up.
Yeah,
and I saw the alien face, and I was like, I don't know what the fuck. I didn't realize it was just a cold open. But in my head, I'm like, it's a Halloween episode.
Right, something like that. It's fantastic. I should say also this episode, because we did not name it, is Drew and the Singles Union, which we'll get to obviously.
Yes,
we will explain moment. But Drew, back in reality,
at home, you're probably like, what does that even mean?
What's a union
what
of
is a
singles
union?
If you haven't deduced, if you don't know English, we will help you. Back in reality is what I wrote. Drew and Mimi are being forced to work during one of the worst thunderstorms in recent history. 100 years thunderstorm.
Apparently.
It's pretty bad. Like Lewis and Oswald come in and they're drenched and they're like, you got to get out of here. It's going to be awful.
Love that in this moment, Lewis and Oswald still come to the place they don't fucking work.
Yeah.
To be like, you got to leave.
Yeah. You've got to go. You don't belong here.
Yeah.
But it's going to be bad,
Mimi has her umbrella hat on. Yeah. And Larry comes out and he hands Drew a bunch of files and he's like, Carey, I'm going to need you to do the rest of these.
You got to finish these reports.
I got to go pick my kid up.
Yeah. We get then, an announcement from Mr. Wick over
Well, before that, even Mimi's like...
Well, yes.
Mimi's like, you gotta... Sucks, you gotta stay. And then this woman we've never seen before that thought was Amy Poehler
I thought she was Amy Poehler for a minute. She's not Amy Poehler. I should look up who she is. But we don't know...
She was pregnant. I guess her water broke. And she asked Mimi to pick it up. And Mimi's not thrilled. She was ready to go home, too. And then this work gets thrown on Mimi. So now Drew and Mimi both get stuck having to work for these people who are going to either take care of their kids or go have a child.
Yes, literally giving birth in a thunderstorm.
Yeah.
Not an easy logistical thing to accomplish. Hayden Walsh was the name of the woman.
Walsh.
She kind of, hold on, I'm not crazy, right? Like, she
looks like she could have been in things, but
she kind of looks like Amy Poehler.
Maybe a little bit.
A little bit. I'm not fucking crazy.
Yeah,
I guess Amy Poehler would have been like way too young. I don't
see it too much.
Yeah,
I'm giving you some grace.
She's from Iowa. I don't know.
Look it up.
She's on BehindTheVoiceActors.com. She's trending at 304th right now.
And like, what do they rank everyone on?
It looks
there?
like it. I don't know.
Just rank voice actors.
I've never been on this website. You know who she is? She's the voice of who's the pink one from Starfire from Teen Titans.
Oh.
On Teen Titans
Who's
Go.
number one?
Can I find who's number one? Hold on.
They just rank voice actors all time?
Yeah. Hold on. How do I find the rankings? Trending this week, Alex Lee.
What's he do?
He's the voice of I don't know. I really don't know. It's like a bunch of anime stuff that I've never heard of before. Dan to Dan, Tower of God Season 2.
I don't know anime.
I don't know anime either. I thought last night about watching Cowboy Bebop. I've never seen that before. This is completely unrelated.
I don't want to get into anime.
That's not my world.
It wasn't made for me. And it's too much.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like once you do it,
you're fully committed.
You're fully in.
Yeah.
And I've also known too many people that have gotten into it, and it devolves. It goes south. You don't even know them anymore. If you start watching Cowboy Bebop, I won't even fucking know you anymore, dude.
You're making it sound like it's like drugs. Like you're making it sound like it's meth. It's like you can't even try it once.
I won't even be able to have conversations. And you can't go out to a bar anymore. You'll always be watching anime.
Sorry, Toonami's on.
You'll probably get really into wrestling, too.
You were never like a Dragon Ball Z guy or something?
Nope.
No.
No. Never. Honestly,
Pokemon?
Toonami would... No. Toonami would come on, and it would kind of scare the shit out of me. Because it would always be like, just like a bunch, everyone would be so fucking veiny and ripped and like, and like, there'd be, and the guy would come on and talk like this.
Tom the robot. I knew Tom at least. I like that they're too muscular for you. You're like, oh no, what are all these hot guys doing on my TV?
I didn't like it.
Yeah.
It scared the shit out of me.
You should have watched, like, I don't know. I was big on Yu-Gi-Oh! But that I feel like those Saturday morning ones
I will say I watched Yu-Gi-Oh! But Yu-Gi-Oh! Was on at a different time.
Yeah, Saturday morning. It wasn't like...
It was a little more relaxed.
Yeah, it wasn't like Toonami.
It didn't have the intensity that Toonami brought.
I hear you. Anyway... Yeah, so nice little anime tangent. Mimi and Drew both get assigned extra work because people are running home to their families or expecting children. And Mr. Wick makes an announcement on the phone that basically if you have a family or children that you need to attend to, you can leave. But all of the single people in the office are expected to stay working through this terrible thunderstorm. He calls it a summer storm. Like,
yeah.
Just kind of throwing it off
I guess
casually.
that sometimes it happens. It always happens in the summer where like once in a while you'll get just some
a terrible
batshit crazy
but
thunderstorm.
It's not the summer though, right? Because isn't Larry picking up his kid from school?
Good point.
Yeah.
Maybe summer school.
Larry's got bad kids. Larry's got those dumb kids.
Dumb, bad kids.
So it pisses everybody off that obviously the single people feel like they're being there's less privilege with being a single person.
Yeah. They have to work extra hours. They got to put their lives in danger.
Yeah.
And so anyway, naturally then, as the storm's so bad, the power goes out.
Right. Which Drew's actually kind of relieved. He's worried he was going to have to spend his last few hours looking at Mimi. And when the power goes out, he says, thanks,
Thank you,
God. Appreciate it.
So
everybody
anyway,
has to go to the main sales floor. I guess it's like a company policy to
I guess
head
that's
counts.
the manual, yeah.
And Drew's trying to read out the manual. He can't really make it out in the dark, though, so Mimi has this like neon glowing blue eyeshadow that he asks her to come closer, and he's reading her off of her eyes.
Losing power was always so fun as a kid.
Yeah.
Like, I remember whenever we lose it in a thunderstorm, and then it would just be candles and flashlights. You just walk around with flashlights and just you sit in the dark. Maybe you play cards, or you just.
It's fun to like a point though. Like I remember
we had lanterns. Yeah.
Like I remember Hurricane Sandy specifically, or no, was it that, or was it? There was like some real bad ice storm that we had, like when I was in high school.
Yeah,
we had no power for 2 days. I was like, oh, okay, this actually sucks.
Losing it in the cold sucks.
Yeah, losing it in the cold
it's different than when you lose it in the summertime to like a summer storm. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Losing it in the cold,
but I do
like
feel
they lost it in like.
There's a time limit on how long it is fun before it's just fucking annoying.
A few hours,
even as a child.
Cool.
Yeah.
Anything more than a few hours, like even overnight into the next
I was
day,
going to say, if I'm going to sleep
sucks.
and there's still no power, I'm kind of like
also,
this.
then all your shit in your fridge goes bad.
Yeah. But it is fun for a few fleeting hours.
For a few fleeting hours, you're like, oh, whoa.
At the office, though, must suck.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they...
then you just don't have to work. I don't know if it's that bad.
Yeah, you're right. I just want to go home. My car still works. Fucking goddamn. So, yeah, they the power comes back on, and Drew and Mimi are talking about how ridiculous this whole situation is.
Yeah, how them as single people and all the other singles that are stuck there and got stuck there during such a, awful storm.
Yeah.
So, basically, Drew gets so riled up that they talk about, we deserve a little more from the company. They talk about they shouldn't have to work all this overtime. Or
we deserve benefits that the other people are getting.
Yeah.
Even though we are single.
Right.
So they decide the only fair way to do that is to form a singles union.
Yes.
It's just a union of the Winford Louder employees who are not married or with children.
Yes, and Mimi wants to be the president. Drew assumed he'd be the president. Mimi's like, I want to be the president. You're going to screw this up.
Yeah. She thinks it's a good idea, but she needs to be the one in charge of it.
She said, specifically, I come from a long line of truckers.
Yes. To which Drew goes, we don't care about what you did on your lunch break. And I think that's the best line.
That was the best line
of the whole
episode.
thing. It's
that was
fucking
so
incredible.
Good. But anyway, yeah. Turns out Wick was lurking in the dark.
Yes, and he was watching this whole thing unfold. Yeah. He's not happy with the idea of a union.
No, he's got a bust.
Yeah. So Wick's gonna bust. So he was born to bust, some would say. So yeah, he's like, I'll shut down this store before you guys unionize.
Yeah.
So luckily though, as they are being confronted by him, a tornado warning goes off.
Yeah, tornado sirens in Cleveland.
So tornado in Cleveland. So they all go down to the basement to protect themselves. Wick stays up there, and he's still going again. He's like, "I'll shut down this store when pigs fly." And then we see him look out the window, and a cow is flying by.
Yeah,
and he's like, "Oh no, is that too close?"
Yeah, under the circumstances that should count, I guess. And then it breaks all the windows.
All the windows
absolutely
shatter.
destroys the store.
He goes flying.
Yeah.
No. So it's no good. We then go to
the house the next day, post-storm.
Seems like Drew's house is fine.
Yeah, but they're reading about the storm in the paper.
Yeah.
And I guess it really fucked up the store to the extent that it's closed for 3 days.
Yeah. So Lewis and Oswald come over, and they're making fun of Drew's idea. I guess it's gotten around that Drew's starting a singles union. They say that Drew started a union just to get him some. He's like, they're talking about going over and treating it like a mixer almost, more so just trying to hit on people.
Yeah. And then Drew's trying to explain that no, we're doing it for a good cause. We want these benefits. And then who knocks at the door but Larry?
Larry
with his dumbass fucking kid.
They're honking the car. They're going crazy. Larry basically says that him and all of the other employees with kids met at Chuck E. Cheese to talk about the ongoing singles union.
Yeah.
And he's like, listen, if we're losing benefits because of you guys,
if we lose one benefit, we're coming for you.
Yeah, you're a dead man walking, essentially. Yeah. So Drew's like, talk to me about this at work, not at the comfort of my home.
And don't threaten me.
Yeah, kicks him out. And then right as he starts to settle down and talk to the gang again, a Dilbert doll with a brick on it goes flying through his window.
Yeah.
And there's a note on it that says, next time it's life size.
Yeah.
Implying, I guess, it'll be Drew.
Drew is Dilbert and...
Confirmed canon.
Yes.
Write it down. Don't look into what the Dilbert guy's doing. Trust me. So the next scene, we're back at the store. Mimi is doing an evaluation of the
damaged property and basically just taking everything that was or wasn't damaged.
Ostensibly,
for herself.
she's taking the broken makeup and she's keeping it all for herself. And while she's doing that, she finds Mr. Wick. Mr. Wick is still in there, and he's
in a fetal position.
Yeah,
under a jacket.
He's not in good situation at all.
He's seen some shit.
Yeah, it seems that he thinks all of the mannequins that were surrounding him were human beings, and he's like, "Oh, they're all dead. Everybody's dead."
It ripped their genitals off.
Yes, those poor souls. So. She's trying to get him a hold, but he's kind of delusional straight up.
And he says, "Take me, don't leave me, take me home with you."
Yeah. So,
even Mimi's like, "Oh, you're really fucked up."
Yeah. But she understands an opportunity where she sees it. So she's taken the man that she's fawned after for long. So they go home. And then the next scene we see is the union meeting at
the Warsaw.
Where else? It's where unions are formed.
Yes. The working man's pub.
Drew is kind of concerned at this point that he's going to lose the whip. He's going to lose the vote. So he tries to rally some people. Kate has a bunch of buttons with slogans for him. So he's going around shaking hands, and she's handing out buttons. Vote for Carey. He'll never marry. Drew Carey never had it, never will. Vote for Drew. Who would date him? And then he's just
you'd have to be drunk, I think.
Yeah. So Kate, in addition to whipping votes for Drew, is also counting the votes. So Mimi comes in and they hold the vote, and it's going to be between Mimi or Drew. And they realize it's a tie.
It's a tie, but Kate didn't count herself.
So
then Drew, you assume, would win.
Mm-hmm.
But then Mimi says, if I can get some concessions from Wick right now on the phone.
Can we do a revote?
Or how many of you would vote for me?
Everybody agrees to. She hops on what looks like a jitterbug phone. It looks like a consumer cellular ass flip phone. She and she starts asking Mr. Wick, the single employees want flexible hours. They want more vacation time. They want this, that, the other.
And he agrees to it all, but remember, he's fucking lost it
remember,
in our home
also,
right
as
now.
Drew says, she just pulls this shit. We don't know.
Yeah.
So he gets on the phone with Wick and he goes, "Yeah, that is Mr. Wick. I don't know why he's singing 'I'm a Little Teapot,' but it's Mr. Wick." So Mimi quick grabs the phone back, and it's a clever idea from Mimi until you realize what this one employee realizes. Somebody stands up and goes, "If we have all these concessions,
we don't need a union.
We don't need a union. Let's get drunk before the bar opens," so that everybody starts drinking at the bar, and the union's called off. And it really kind of does, I think, turn into a mixer a bit. Yeah.
So then we go to the house after.
The next day, yeah.
The next day, and they're all kind of recapping it. At least, like, it's Oswald, Kate, and Lewis on the couch.
Yeah.
They're recapping it, and Lewis goes to hang out with Drew, I guess.
Yeah, Lewis and Drew go in the back, and they're kind of like hanging out on the billiards table.
But Oswald and Kate stay on the couch, and they're just kind of recapping about how the silliness that happened. They heard about some of the lines that people were trying to pull to pick up other people at the singles union thing. I don't remember what the lines were.
Me neither. It doesn't really
matter.
matter.
The main takeaway is they do start looking at each other.
Yeah.
They're giving each other the eyes.
Yeah.
It's a little flirtatious in a way.
And then Oswald leans in and just starts kissing Kate.
And they kiss.
Yeah.
And it's a real kiss.
Yeah.
They don't even pull away and be like, "Oh, geez, what do we do?"
Yeah.
That was like meant to be, "Oh, shit, this is a thing now."
Yeah. It's just they're into it. They both seem very into it. And then, like, there is a second afterwards where they kiss, where they're like, I don't know. Like, it's just like, like they don't know kind of what to do with it. But and then we go in the back, and Lewis and Drew are kind of broing out, exchanging the same story that they are, just on the pool table.
And they talk about how worried they are about Oswald and Kate
and their prospects for finding a couple. Yeah. So it's an interesting development in this whole thing. Is now we've got we got Oswald and Kate as an item, maybe.
Yeah.
It has come kind of out of nowhere, I will say.
It feels like one of those instances where I always feel like it's the network in these instances, or somebody like a higher up being like, we need something with this group, a little more sexual tension, flair, whatever. And I don't know. It does feel like it comes out of nowhere. And like, remember, there was some intimate past with them. Where didn't they lose their virginity to each other?
I think that's right. I think in the episode where we find out that Drew
do a wrestling move or something. It's still, I'm like, did they need this? I don't know.
I
guess they'll spice things up. Maybe they'll keep it secret. Do you think they keep it secret?
I think for a bit, yeah. But I think secrets don't really do well with that group, right? Like,
no, I think that's probably it, right? The next few episodes are going to be, they're trying to sneak,
they're hiding it,
sex or kissing behind their back, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it doesn't all love start from a place though of surprise. I don't know. I don't fucking know. Yeah, it does seem like it's a network note of like we need to have some chemistry.
We need more
interest,
romance.
We need interest in the non-Drew area. We need something else going on.
So let's make them kiss.
Yeah.
I gotta know. Why do you make them kiss?
Yeah. Just a guy in a suit, just a white guy in a suit behind it. I think they should kiss.
Well, I think it needs more tongue. My other favorite thing that they ended with was when Drew was talking about on the pool table to Lewis. Oh, I worry about them finding somebody else.
Yes.
Lewis is like, I worry about when I hit my head and my hair going further into my head and seeping into my brain.
He's got a lot of concerns with his hair, man, between this and the last episode.
He's got problems.
He should just shave it off, I think. I mean, it's not going to go deeper in. I love Lois, though. I love Ryan Stiles.
He's the best.
And then the credits scene.
Mimi's house.
We get Mimi and Mr. Wick. She's having Mr. Wick sign his signature on a lot of different authorizations.
Yeah,
but
probably the agreements for the union or whatever.
It's under the guise of like, can you give me your signature? You're a movie star, I think it is, or something. Like, so can you sign my autograph?
How long now do we think it has been that he has been like
it's got to be at least like a couple of days.
That has to be a couple of days.
That must fuck you up, man. Surviving
I've never
a tornado.
been in a tornado,
Me
but
neither.
I just like, you can't get a little help in that time.
Not when the person in charge of you is a monster.
Oh.
Yeah. So then she says if he does all these authorizations real quick, he's gonna get tubby time.
He's like, tubby time again? I'm going to be the cleanest man in the world.
Ah, poor Mr. Wick. Poor Mr. Wick, Nigel. Yeah, so that's the first 2 episodes of season 3 here. I thought they were pretty solid. I think it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was good. Good start. We're off to the races.
Absolutely. Only up from here.
Follow us, guys.
Yeah, give us a follow on Instagram.
Give us a follow on Instagram.
Instagram.com/Cleveland Rocks Podcast. You can email us any thoughts, opinions, praise. If we like the praise.
Yeah.
Praise.
We like praise.
ClevelandRocksPodcast@gmail.com. And that's it for now.
That's it for us, guys.
Thanks. We'll see you on the next one.
Tune in next week.
Well, in 2 weeks.
Oh. Since when did this become bi-weekly?
See ya.
See ya.